Hey, it's Laurie. Thanks for stopping by, and let's go make some patriotic DIYs. I'm starting my first project by using 6 of the little wooden box drawers from the Dollar Tree. The cutouts on your boxes won't matter because we're going to be turning them around. I don't want anything to fall out the back, so I'm placing my drawer against a piece of cardstock, and then I'm just tracing around it. When I'm done, I just cut it out. I make sure that it will cover the opening, and then I use my Mod Podge to attach it into place. I used a paintbrush to apply it to the inside of the drawer, and then I simply placed my cardstock over it. When I was done, I then covered the other 5. I'm going to be adding a handle in all 6 of my drawers, so I drilled a hole in the center of each. I'm using my red, white, and blue acrylic paint, and I'm painting 2 drawers and boxes in each of the colors. While I was painting, I painted the insides as well, and I just painted right over the cardstock, and it pretty much disappeared inside. I painted all my boxes completely, but we're going to be attaching them together, so if you're short on paint, just don't paint where you're going to be attaching them on the top and the sides. I painted the top of my 3 top boxes white just to give them a base coat. I'm adding some stars and stripes to my project, and I'm giving my top red box a coat of blue paint. While that's drying, I'm using my Starbond thick glue, and I'm attaching the top white and the top blue box together. Starbond glue sets up so quickly, and I have a 10% off coupon code below in my description if you'd like to check it out. Using my ruler on the end of the top box, I marked off the 1 and 2 inch place. I then used my ruler to follow the marks and make 2 lines lengthwise. Using my same red paint, I then filled in the line on the top and the bottom. I found these stars at the Dollar Tree in a multi-pack, and I'm giving each of them a coat of white paint. Now that my stars have dried, I'm once again using my Starbond thick glue, and I'm attaching them to the top of my red box. With this size star, I was only able to add 4, but depending on the size of stars that you find, you can always add more or even less. When I'm done attaching my stars and stripes together, I'm using my Starbond thick glue. I'm then attaching my 3 lower boxes together using the same glue. When I was done, I then used the same glue to attach the bottom to the top. I want to give my patriotic cabinet some legs, so I'm using 6 of the tumbling tower blocks from the Dollar Tree. I'm once again using my Starbond thick glue because it sets up super quick, and I'm going to be attaching 2 sets of 3. I then used my matching paint, and I painted one of the legs red and the other one blue. Now that both of my painted legs are dry, I'm using my same Starbond glue, and I'm attaching them to the bottom. Dollar Tree carries some really cute decorative knobs, and I picked up 3 packages of these gold stars. They each come with their own hardware, but the bolts were way too long for my drawers, so I ended up cutting them shorter with my bolt cutter, and then I filed down the ends until they were smooth. The yellow didn't go with my theme, so I ended up painting each of them white. I wanted to give them some color, and if you follow me, you know that I love to splatter. So I dipped the end of my paintbrush into some red paint, and then I just tapped against it with another paintbrush. And once I was done with my red, I then followed the same instructions, and I tapped on some blue. Now that they are dry, and to finish up the project, I'm going to add 1 to each of the drawers. When I was done, my patriotic flag cabinet was complete. second DIY, it's super easy. I'm starting with one of the stand-up chalkboards from the Dollar Tree. I'm also using 2 stars and 1 heart wooden sticker from the Dollar Tree, along with some of their wooden letters. I'm using my red, white, and blue acrylic paint, and I'm painting one of the stars and the letter U with my red. I'm then painting the letters I and S with my white acrylic paint, along with the frame on the chalkboard. When those were complete, I then painted my last star and my letter A with my blue paint. With everything painted, I'm now putting the sign together. I found this pretty red, white, and blue ribbon at Michael's, and I'm going to add this as an accent on the outside of the frame. I added some hot glue, placed down my ribbon. I then cut it to size and attached it onto the back. From there, I continued working my way around the frame until all 4 sides were covered with ribbon. With my frame all complete, I'm now going to add my other accents. I'm starting with my eye and my sparkly heart, and I like to find their placement first and then hot glue them into place. With both of those in place, I'm then moving on to my USA, and once again, I'm going to find their placement, and when I'm happy, I'm then going to hot glue them into place. To finish up my project and add a little extra accent, I found these sparkly felt star stickers at Michael's. I'm adding a blue one to my red star and a red one to my blue star. When I'm done, and to finish up my project, I just hot glue my 2 stars into place. And with that, my I love the USA sign is complete. I'm starting my third project by using a glass cylinder vase from the Dollar Tree, and mine measures 7 1/4 inches tall. I'm using some white spray paint, and I'm spraying inside the white vase. Now that it's dry, I'm going to cover it with some painter's tape. To keep my stripes straight and even, I'm using 1-inch tape, and I'm wrapping it around the vase. I'm starting at the top, and the extra 1/4 inch will be added to the bottom stripe. I'm turning this into a Patriotic vase, but it can also be used as an LED candle holder. I made some coastal candle holders in the past, and I will link that video below in case you'd like to check it out. Now that it's covered, I'm going to make some chalk paint to paint my stripes. I'm using some red and blue acrylic paint and some baking soda. To make my chalk paint, I'm adding about a tablespoon of paint and about 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Once they're added together, I then mix them well. I'm making my second stripe red on my vase, so I'm removing that piece of tape. Now, using my red chalk paint, I'm covering the white stripe. After my first red stripe is painted, I know my next stripe will be white. Then I'll be having a blue and then a white, and then my next stripe will be red. So I'll be removing that piece of tape. And now I'm giving it its second red stripe. To make my blue stripe, I'm adding about a tablespoon of paint, 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, and then I'm mixing it together well. My middle stripe is blue, so I'm removing the center tape, and then I'm covering the white. Once my middle stripe is complete, I'm then painting my last stripe around the bottom. Once all the paint had dried, I then carefully removed the leftover pieces of tape. A little bit of paint snuck under the tape here and there, so I just used my X-Acto knife to clean it off. I'm adding a star on the front as an accent, and I'm using one from this Dollar Tree 3-pack. To cover my star, I'm using a Patriotic paper napkin and my Mod Podge. I covered one side of the star in Mod Podge, and then I cut out a piece of the star napkin and placed it on top of the star. I then used my hand and the back of a plastic knife to smooth out any wrinkles. Once my star had dried, I then cut most of the extra napkin away, and then I added another coat of Mod Podge. When my star was dry, I used my scissors and I cut it out, leaving a little extra on the edge. To finish up my star, I added some Mod Podge around the edges and then just folded them over with my finger. When it was dry, I then attached it to the front of my vase using my glue gun. I'm using 2 thin red and white ribbons. I'm wrapping them around my vase and I'm tying them into a bow. When I'm done, I then shorten up my tails. I'm adding a red and white sparkly star accent using the same stars from my last project. They have sticky backs, so I just placed one on top of the other, and then I attached them using my glue gun to the front of my ribbon. To finish up, I added in some pretty red, white, and blue flowers, along with a flag from the Dollar Tree, and with that, my Patriotic star vase is complete. Thanks so much for stopping by and hanging out with me, and I really hope you enjoyed making these patriotic crafts. If you're new and you haven't yet subscribed and you're thinking, hey, I'd like to come back and hang out with her again, don't forget to click that little red subscribe button below. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye, everybody.